Most people think Paris Saint-Germain is ready to finally lift the trophy tonight. They see the stars, the tactical chaos of Luis Enrique, and they believe French football is about to dominate Europe. But they are completely blind to the silent trap Mikel Arteta has been building for months. But wait, Arsenal fans, don't celebrate too fast. You think your perfect tactical grid and your military discipline can control this match. You are making the exact mistake that Luis Enrique wants you to make. Tonight, one of these two managers is walking into a psychological graveyard, and the trap is already set. When you look at this final in Budapest, you are not looking at a normal football match. You are looking at a collision between two incompatible worldviews. On one side, the absolute rigid architecture of London. On the other side, the volatile, unpredictable electricity of Paris. The mainstream media will talk about statistics, tracking data, and expected goals. They will tell you who ran faster or who spent more money in the summer windows. But they miss the entire point. Finals are not won by physical data. Finals are won by psychological leverage and tactical trauma. Let us dissect the French side first. Paris Saint-Germain under Luis Enrique is an optical illusion. For years, Paris was a collection of individual egos who wanted the ball at their feet to show their brilliance to the world. That Paris is dead. This new version is far more dangerous because it thrives on structural instability. Luis Enrique does not want a clean, organised match. He wants a storm. He designs his team to look disorganised, to look vulnerable, to invite the opponent forward into a false sense of security. They pass the ball horizontally, slowly, almost lazily, drawing you out of your defensive block. And the moment you take one step forward to press them, the trap snaps shut. The French chaos relies entirely on vertical execution. They wait for that single pocket of space to open up in your midfield. The second it appears, the tempo changes instantly. It goes from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a second. Dembélé, Barcola, Vitinha, Hakimi. They do not just run into space, they attack the space with a violent intent that breaks defensive lines before the defenders can even rotate. If you allow the match to become broken, if you allow the transitions to become chaotic, Paris will destroy you, because they practice chaos every single day. They are comfortable in the mud. They know how to survive when the tactical plan breaks down, and they want to drag Arsenal into that deep water where logic no longer applies. But that is exactly where the London prison comes into play. Mikel Arteta is not a manager who reacts to chaos. He is a manager who destroys it before it can breathe. What Arsenal has built this season is an suffocating, invisible cage. When you watch Arsenal defend, you do not see desperate tackles or heroic clearances. You see a perfect geometric grid moving in total harmony. Gabriel and Saliba do not just mark strikers. They control the psychological depth of the entire pitch. Declan Rice does not just break up plays. He acts as the structural anchor that prevents the midfield from losing its shape for even a split second. Arteta's plan tonight is to deny Paris the one thing they need to survive: oxygen. Arsenal will not fall for the bait. They will not press high, blindly, just because Paris looks slow on the ball. They will sit in a medium block, cold, calculated, and perfectly spaced. Every single pass Paris tries to make into the centre of the pitch will feel like passing through a wall of bricks. Arsenal wants to turn this Champions League final into a slow, agonising chess match. They want to bore Paris. They want to frustrate the French attackers until they start taking irrational risks, until Hakimi pushes too high, until the midfielders start forcing passes that are not there. And that is exactly where the hidden counter trap lies for Arsenal. This military discipline, This absolute perfection that Arteta demands is a double-edged sword. It requires an immense amount of cognitive energy to stay perfectly aligned for 90 minutes against a team that constantly shifts shapes like Paris is exhausting for the human brain. Every muscle, every mental calculation has to be flawless, but humans are not machines. Under the blinding lights of Budapest, with the weight of history on their shoulders, pressure does strange things to the mind. If Arsenal plays 20 minutes of perfect tactical football but makes a single miscalculation in the 21st minute, the entire structure can collapse like a house of cards. A single late rotation from Ben White, a single loose touch from Thomas Partey, and the cage opens. And against Paris Saint-Germain, 1 second of freedom is all it takes to concede a goal that changes the history of a club. If Paris scores first, Arsenal's entire geometric plan is thrown into the garbage. They will be forced to chase the game, to open up, to break their own grid. And if Arsenal breaks their grid to attack, they are walking directly into the jaws of the French monster. But reverse the scenario. Imagine the first 30 minutes of the match. Paris tries every single trick in Luis Enrique's book. They rotate positions. They try to overload the left flank. They try to drop deep to pull Saliba out of his zone. But Saliba does not move. Gabriel stays locked. Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard track back with the discipline of defensive midfielders. Paris realises that their possession is completely useless. They are holding the ball, but they are 90 yards away from David Raya's goal. Frustration begins to poison the Parisian minds. They look at each other, looking for answers, but all they see is a red and white wall that refuses to break. This is the exact moment where Arsenal strikes. Arteta does not need 20 chances to win a final. He needs set pieces. He needs transition moments where Gabriel Martinelli or Kai Havertz can exploit a disorganised French defence. Arsenal's offensive transitions are not chaotic like Paris's. They are rehearsed movements, executed with surgical precision. They know exactly which post to attack on a corner, exactly which zone is vulnerable behind Marquinhos, and exactly how to isolate Nuno Mendes. If Arsenal scores first, they will close the gates of the London prison and lock Paris inside for the rest of the night. It will become a slow execution. So who wins when the unstoppable force of French chaos meets the immovable object of London architecture? The truth is, both of these managers are terrified right now. Luis Enrique knows that if his players lose their discipline for a single moment, Arsenal will punish them without mercy. Mikel Arteta knows that his perfect system relies on players who are human, and humans crack under pressure. This is not a match about who has the better tactical board. It is about who can survive the psychological trauma of the second half. The stage is set in Budapest. The tactical trap is waiting for its victim. One manager is about to achieve football immortality, and the other is about to face the most brutal tactical nightmare of his career. The whistle is about to blow. The tension is already breaking the scales. Do not look away for a single second, because the trap is about to snap shut.